Okay. Hello. I believe that we are now live. I've said that once already, and it turns out we were not live. Turn that down. It's looking like there's roughly a 10-second delay, if not more, but we'll just have to live with that, see how we do. That's my dad shouting at the dog, standard. So yeah, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is my second ever live stream through YouTube, or through any medium really. Basically tonight I'm going to be packing for a wedding trip. It's a wedding photography gig down in Cowbridge in South Wales. For those who don't know, I'm up in North Wales. So yeah, I thought I'd try and entertain you, as well as potentially you entertain me while I'm at it. So, we've got a message already. Hello, Gare. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. I've never said it out loud. Gare. Please do tell me. Big fan of the channel. Thank you for watching. Over probably a good year or two, Gare's been watching. So, thank you for the support. There were a couple of little bits of housekeeping, actually, that I wanted to mention. First off, in fact, I might just give it a couple of minutes just to see if anyone else joins the stream first before I announce anything. Apparently I am not pronouncing Gare correctly. It might be my slight Welsh twinge. I know a lot of people don't think I sound Welsh. A lot of people in North Wales think I sound Scouse because I'm much closer to the English border than we might like to be. Medium format, asks Gare. I would love to try it. I'm assuming you're on about film medium format rather than digital phase 1 or Fuji. What are they called? GX? Something like that. Yeah, medium format film I would love to try at some point. I've looked plenty of times at the Hasselblads and Bronicas and the big Pentax, is it Pentax 67s, I think? Truth be told, I just cannot afford it. I'm still fairly early into the industry, business-wise, where vast majority of my money is still just being poured into equipment acquisition, basically, whether that's camera and lenses or lighting, computing, even just software and subscriptions and all that kind of thing. So that's where basically all of my money has been going over the last probably 3 years now. Hopefully, once I'm fairly well established and I don't need to be making these big purchases anymore, then I would love to be going and experimenting, really. I love shooting film as a hobby. I don't think I'm not sure I have the skill set to do it professionally. I wouldn't really trust myself, especially when we have the likes of Sony A73 I'm shooting on right now, where I can just trust it. I can get my settings dialed in. I know exactly how I like it, and I can just rattle off the shots knowing they're going to be spot on. Or if they're not quite spot on, I can very, very easily adjust them in post. Film, yeah, I wouldn't trust myself shooting professionally, but as a hobby I absolutely love it. I think more than anything it's the suspense, doing your best in camera, hitting that exposure and just not knowing, so waiting to see later on whether you've actually done a good job or not. Yeah, I think it's a test, if anything, of your skills to see if you actually know what you're doing, and I do enjoy that. But yeah, I don't have the money right now, but eventually I'd love to do medium format, have a play with that. And exactly the same goes for development as well. I would love to eventually start having to go developing some film, even if it's just black and white stuff. You know, I shoot a lot of Ilford HP5 Plus and some XT 400 XT. I can't remember which way around it is. But yeah, I love both of those films, each for different reasons. Yeah, I'd love to have a go at some point. Right, I'll crack on with announcements. I don't know if anyone's there or not. But first off, when was it? About a week or so ago, we hit 3,000 subscribers on this channel. That is massive. I didn't see it coming. It sort of snuck up on us a little bit. But yeah, big achievement for me. I'm very proud of it. But mainly, like, it's you guys. So thank you very much. Next step, 4,000 subscribers. I'm hoping maybe we can hit 5,000 by the end of this year. So we'll see how we go. You can probably guess. I mean, compared to a lot of other people on YouTube, I'm not exactly actively chasing down these figures, these targets. If it happens, it happens. And yeah, that's cool. Great. Awesome. But I'm not really living to hit those like 10,000, 50,000 subscriber marks. This is still very much a hobby for me. I do make a little bit of money. I mean, a little bit of money, which basically pays for my internet every month. So I'm very grateful, obviously. But for the work that you put in, it is not a lot of money that you get from YouTube. So yeah, 3,000 of you. We don't have 3,000 of you watching right now, but there we go. For those who are watching, thank you very much. And over the last few weeks as well, a special massive thank you to my biggest fan right over there. How I've got through the last couple of weeks without that, I do not know. As a Welshman, this weather has not been kind to me at all. So yeah, Home Bargains, £9.99. Best purchase of the year by far. Right, next topic, sort of announcement. I now have a M1 Mac. It's a Mac Mini. The reason that I bought it was because this computer we're running on right now, it's the 16-inch MacBook Pro. It just died. I'd shot a wedding. This is all day on a Saturday. I'd shot a wedding, got home, just about managed to back up all my footage, and then that was it. Lights out. Dead. It wasn't taking charge at all. It wouldn't power on. It was just a brick, a nice space grey brick. So I booked in at the Apple Store, took it in, and I thought, you know what, I don't know how long this is going to be away. I'd been estimated 7 to 10 days, but I need to get work done. I already have a Mac Mini in my bedroom. It's not exactly an editing machine. It's a, I think, quad-core Intel i3. It does have 32 gig of RAM, which I did on this channel. It's probably, I think, my most popular video still. But it is not an editing machine. There is no graphics card in there. It's all just the onboard graphics. So I ordered a M1 Mac Mini. and let me tell you, the hype is real about that Apple M1 chip. The last video on this channel, I can't even remember what it was now. I cannot remember what my last video was. I think it was... Come on, studio. Chop chop. Oh yeah, it was about my filming setup here, which did incorporate this one as well, very briefly. I edited that. It's all 4K footage from the A7R4, shot in PP8 in Cine 4, graded and everything. I didn't even bother transcoding. I'll usually transcode into ProRes before I start editing. I just find it a much easier workflow. Didn't transcode anything, it was just a raw footage with a lot of B-roll, a bit of like mainly talking head, a little bit of a few transitions and stuff like that, and then grades over the top of everything as well. Absolutely flawless, seamless 4K edit. What I'll usually do as well is I'll create a 1080p timeline to start with, do that edit, this is in Final Cut Pro, and then just copy and paste it into 4K timeline to export. I went straight into a 4K timeline and it just flew through, not a single glitch. One downside is if you use a lot of plugins, there's a very good chance that they won't work. It'll depend on the developer on whether they've built a version for the M1 Mac yet or not. But yeah, for the videos I do on here, it's very much do a script or whatever, hit record on camera, waffle on for a bit, stop recording, import it, and then B-roll, stuff like that. I'm not really doing any mad like glitch effects or tracking or anything like that. So plugins for these videos are not an issue. I could very happily use the M1 Mac Mini if I was just doing YouTube. And it cost £800. Switch you off. Yeah, for 800 quid. I think the cheapest one is £700. It is a fantastic solution, to the point where I might well be selling this MacBook Pro at some point. So if I do, I'll make a video all about it. But yeah, that's how that's going, and I'm very happy with it so far. So yeah, main thing in this video, I'm going to be packing for this wedding. So by all means, anyone in the chat, if you've got any questions at all, whether it's about medium format cameras, whether I'd like to try them, or about my wedding photography, maybe you want to see some images or something like that, the gear I use, anything, ask away. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat. I can't say that I'll be constantly talking to you, but I'll sort of show you what's going in the case and stuff like that. So yeah, here we go. Cold coffee first. Do let me know as well if the audio is actually alright. The MacBook Pro, true to form, the fans are whirring up quite a bit, so I hope you can't hear it, but you might be able to hear it. Do let me know if it's really bad and I'll move the microphone or something. So yeah, as you may have seen in previous videos, recent videos, these are my main cases now. They are the Nanak 935. They are basically pretty much the same size as a Peli 1510 or the 1535, I think the new one is, the Peli Air. But they've just got a lot more features that I really really like. One of them being they have their own TSA locks which you can retrofit after purchase. I did a video about that. I was going to say I've got a video about that up here. I'll put it in the description later on. The other thing is these clasps are very, very quiet. So if I'm in the back of a big echoey church, which we have a lot of here in the UK, I can very easily open this very quietly. Rather than the Pelican case, which is like that or nothing. You're not opening the Pelican case quietly. So yeah, on the inside, you might have seen this video as well. I built my own custom inserts. I love this. It was so cheap as well. So basically, it's just this stuff. It's just 2mm self-adhesive foam on either side, and then plastic Corex in the middle. Cut it to size, and job's a good one. I just made tons of it, so I've got a load of left over as well, which means I can reconfigure this however I want, whenever I want, depending on the job that I've got coming up. And compared to the official Trek Pack kits, which it is very much ripped off from, this cost me about 40 quid to do 2 cases, and with the Trek Pack it would cost me £200 to do 2 cases. So I'm very happy with this job. So yeah, we're going to start packing. Obviously the camera right here, that will be going in there somewhere, but not right now. I'll let you carry on watching. So first off, we have here, this is the Sony A73. On it right now is the Sony 35mm f1.8. I am loving this lens so far. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be staying on there for the time being, especially for this weekend's wedding. As you may know, I'm mostly a 24mm guy. Most of my weddings previously, 80% of the images that I deliver are from a 24mm lens. I just love the focal length. But this is the first time I've had a 35mm in a, well, I've never had a 35mm for full frame before. But I'm thinking the last 6 months of this year, my practice with the Fujifilm X100V, which is 23mm, aka 35mm equivalent, I think that's very much helped me in composing with this 35mm lens so far. Yeah, and for video as well, it's cracking for video. There is 0 focus breathing, which is quite rare really. It is primarily a photo camera, a photo lens rather than video. But yeah, I've used it already on a couple of videos for like bits of B-roll and stuff like that. Very, very happy with it. Lenses. So right here we have the Sony 85mm f1.8. This is the very first Sony lens that I bought, and I've still got it nearly 2 years later, which says a lot for me, really. This is pretty much exclusively used at weddings for speeches. When I'm at the back, I can be shooting sort of through the crowd and sort of picking off individual candid shots, that sort of thing. As well as exactly the same thing at the ceremony as well. Most of the time I'd be using the 24mm and where's that gone? Nearly dropped it. The 50, nearly dropped it again. The Sony 55mm f1.8. This one looks a bit funky compared to usual, but yeah, 24mm and 55mm. Absolutely love that combo with the 85mm for the longer shots as well. I've been very, very happy with that setup. But now that this 35mm has come into my life, I'm starting to rethink things. So this weekend I'm going to be shooting, I think, primarily 35 and 85, and see how it goes, really. See how I like it. But I do love the 24 and 55, so we'll see. Next is the Sony 90mm macro. I'll probably use this for 5 or 10 minutes, honestly. I took this when I was second shooting last weekend on Red Wolf Bay in Anglesey, and it's literally just a few table detail shots and wedding rings, that sort of thing. That is all that I used this for. I would still go for the 85mm for the ceremony and speeches stuff, just because it is a very snappy focusing lens, whereas this one can hunt a bit more. You do have that slight extra longer focal length, but I would much rather just take the 85 and then crop a little bit if I needed to. But I do absolutely adore this lens, the macro. Since I've had it, it has been used on basically every single one of my channel's videos, so love it. Here's the big guns. 24mm G Master f1.4. Never leave the house without it now. That's going straight in there. If you're wondering, right now I'm shooting on the Sony 28mm f2, a lens which I actually bought nearly 2 years ago when I first joined the Sony system, and then sold when I got 24mm. But since I've been doing more video, especially gimbal work, I've learned that the 28mm is damn near perfect for gimbal work. It's very small, very lightweight, still quite nice and bright, f2, and yeah, it's great focusing. Very often I'll be manually focusing anyway, so that's not a big deal. But yeah, it's fantastic. A73 with the 28mm f2, slap it on the gimbal, you can balance it really quickly. You're not getting a tired arm after 5 minutes of using it. Superb, love it. Right then, and then the final lens is the Tamron 17-28. It is the only zoom lens that I'm taking. It's the only one that I ever really take to a wedding, and this is almost exclusively for later night dance floor shots, where usually when I'm using the flash I'll be shooting the manual anyway, and I'll usually be shooting around f4 to f5.6 anyway, so a bright aperture is not important to me in that scenario, and having the flexibility of 17-28 when you can get right up in there, superb, love it. Okay, that's all the actual camera stuff except for batteries. So we have two FZ100 batteries with each camera. I've just dropped one there. This is what you don't see when I edit my videos. And then I have 4 spare batteries from Newer. They can all get stuck in there. I find the other one later. Then dual battery charger. These things are great. I think this one cost me about £8 or £9 on Amazon. Micro USB and USB Type C charging. It actually shows you a rough percentage. Always handy to have. Memory cards. So I have a ton of memory cards, but I still might have to buy more by the end of this summer. It's a very busy summer. Yeah, a lot of memory cards. They're going straight in there. A Leatherman multi-tool. This is always in my camera bag, or case, as the case may be. I did have to pay quite a lot of money when I went to Belgium to get it back, because I just forgot it was in there. Luckily I was on the train, not an airplane, so I think they were a little more lenient. They basically charged me to post it to London on the same train that I was on. But there we go, I got it back. Peak Design leash, I think it's called a leash. Can be handy if I'm there a night either side anyway, so if I go for a walk or anything, I've got it with me. That is in there. 2 pouches. The smallest one is basically a toolkit. So in there I've got any size Allen key I can think of, as well as a couple of pennies and anything I might need to screw a tripod plate on or anything like that. A few little odd knickknacks, spare like bolts and adapters and stuff like that. A GoPro style bolt, you never know, and just a little Phillips screwdriver. They basically go everywhere with me. I don't know how many times it's saved a shoot, to be fair. So yeah, all in a handy little pouch. That's actually a small rig pouch from a multi-tool. Very handy. And where did I put the other one? There it is. So this pouch is from the Aperture ALM9. Little light. The light itself is in there. It is, for the size and weight and money, it's fantastic. Goes everywhere with me. Spare lens cloth, some lens wipes, a couple of cleaning trinkets, big, I have to say this is my favourite Allen key. If you can see it, it is slightly rounded on the edge, on the very end, which means you can have it at pretty much any angle and still be screwing stuff in and out. Very good. That's the aforementioned small rig multi-tool, all your Allen keys and screwdrivers and stuff, and then just a little tiny knife. So literally every wedding I've been to in the last year and a half, this has come in handy, and the groom's party especially have been very grateful. They're almost always renting their suits, and 90% odd of the time those suits will have sewn up buttonholes and pockets. So when the groomsmen are there outside the church, nervously trying to shove their florals into their buttonholes, they can't do it. So I turn up with this, very carefully cut open the buttonholes for them. They are extremely grateful. So then as soon as I've done that, it goes straight back in the pouch. Honestly, every single wedding. So yeah, that lives in there, that lives in there, never without it. Harnesses, you probably know this already. I've got two harnesses. One is the Peak Design Capture Clip V3 on their Pro pad as well. You just loop a belt through it. That lives on my left hand side. On my right hand side I have the Spider Light capture clip. That goes over your belt again, and then the camera plate holster slips straight into it. Love it. Nothing else to say about it really. That goes in there. Small cleaning bits. Rocket blower, always. USB Type-C charging cable for the charger, goes in there. I've had a lot of fun with this recently. This is a glass prism. This cost me about, I think, £5 on Amazon, and it's literally a case of trial and error. You can get some really cool effects with it. I mean, especially weddings like this weekend. I am again a second shooter, so a lot of the day my job is just doing candids and that sort of thing. So I'll just keep that in my back pocket or in my bag, whip it out now and then, have a play around, and some of the results, I mean a lot of the results are shocking, I'll be honest, but some of the results are stunning. So yeah, worth having with you just to have a play around. And cleaning cloth, go in there. That's it, we're done. I didn't even realise. Yeah, for me now that is pretty much, it's almost muscle memory. It's pretty much the same stuff for every gig. If it's photo, if it's video, it's very different. I'll be doing a video about that pretty soon. Yeah, for video, it's basically one of these cases for all the camera bodies and lenses, monitor, that sort of stuff. And then the other case is almost all audio. It is ridiculous how much audio stuff I take for a wedding video. But yeah, there we go. It's all in that nice little package, which I can then also lock, so no one is getting into that now. Yeah. Buzzing. I won't have to forget about this camera. I must remember to take that camera off when I finish this video. A few other bits I take with me. You've probably seen my Billingham Hadley Pro before. Absolutely love this bag. I got it dirt cheap as well. I think £95, something like that, on eBay. I got this bag for. Again, because it's just these leather bits, super quiet to open, especially in a church ceremony setting, something like that. I do have a speed light. This is, well, this one is the Godox V860 Mark II. I also have the other one, I can't remember the name of it, TT something, I don't know. But I prefer this one just because it's got a massive built-in battery. I've never run out of battery with it, so I don't have to worry about it. Power bank for charging all of the batteries. Love that thing. And then snacks. So quite a few cereal bars in there. Got some fruit pastels. I've not had fruit pastels in years, but I saw them the other day. They're going with me. And a massive bag of wine gums. The best. So yeah, especially if the weather's how it has been for the last month, it's going to be very hot. And one thing about candy, we call it, sweets in this country, is they're not really going to melt. So rather than having all of your hopes and dreams relying on a nice chocolate bar at the end of the day, getting back and it's just a gooey mess in a packet, sweets are the answer. Yeah, that's about it really. So yeah, the Billingham, basically when I'm actually going into the ceremony or doing the speeches, what have you, I'll basically take 2 lenses, put them in here, along with the 2 bodies, each with a lens on either holster, on either of my sides. And that's it, that's all I need really. I throw a bottle of water in there, a spare battery, spare cards, cleaning cloth. Job's a good one. So yeah, even though I've got this big case, it doesn't mean I'm carrying that big case around with me all day. I'm very selective with what I'm actually using at any given point, and yeah, it saves my back quite a bit. So yeah, how long have we been going? I have no idea. How do I see it? What time is it? It's 8:10. Right, so I mean, we've not had many people watching. It was a very last minute decision on my behalf, to be fair. I'm rubbish at advertising stuff like this. But, you know, there we are. We did it. Yeah, thank you very much for your comments earlier on. And thank you, as always, for watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. And exactly the same for the other 3,059 of you. Thank you so much, especially that one over there. Again, I cannot thank them enough. Yeah, I'm going to call it there. I need a shower. I'm heading first thing in the morning. I'm driving an hour in the opposite direction for a venue scout for video in 2 weeks' time. Before then coming home and then driving 4 hours south. And I need to pack other things like food and clothes and stuff first as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I mean, I doubt you would have learnt anything, but you never know. And yeah, no bother, says Gare. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much for watching, and let's do this again sometime. Maybe I might actually announce it in advance next time as well, so we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to get going, so all the best. See you later.